Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, am I audible? Okay, thank you. Yes, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome to Medley Meeting number 695. My name is Venkat Palle, your Sergeant Arms for today's meeting. There are 3 ground rules that we need to follow during this meeting. First, please turn off your mobile phones or keep them in silent mode. And second, please do not talk about sex, politics, or during this meeting. And third, please do not exit the meeting abruptly. If any emergency needs, please put a message in chat window and do so. Toastmasters International. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience by which members develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting personal growth and self-confidence. Without further ado, I would like to call up a person who takes this meeting forward, who is a Toastmaster since 2009 and acquiring every knowledge, every opportunity. And he is none other than our President, Toastmaster Saravanan. Let's put hands together to welcome. Thank you. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. When I was 5 years old, I was told the story. You have to cross 7 seas and 7 mountains to reach your destination. I was like that today. I was just crossing seas and mountains and to reach over here. How are you all doing today? Excellent. And what is one thing that you did this week that made you very happy? What is one thing that you did this week that made you very happy?
Long time I went to my office, which is in Abu. So I spent the journey, but I like meeting with people. Nice,
good. With this happy note, I declare meeting number 695 over. I would like to welcome the dignitaries who have joined today's meeting. I believe we will have our DTM Raghavan Sridhar, who will be joining us today for an education session, and I will welcome him whenever he joins. Now, I have to just ask, who are all our guests who have joined us today? I can see 2 guests, and then do we have any guests online? No, I don't see. I see that. Yeah. Maybe a guest phone. Okay. Okay, good. Fine. Yeah, can you please come here and introduce yourself and let us know what your expectations for today's meeting are? Yeah, please. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can introduce. There are many members who have come today.
Good afternoon, all. Have a great evening. So, maybe the second meeting for me today. So I like to keep the momentum going and learn as much as possible and get a good experience out of it. So I hope that there will be tabletop sessions which will be coming in so I can do my bit today. That's the plan. That's it. Thank you. Great day.
Thank you, and keep visiting us often.
Hi, this is Hari. I'm a chartered accountant working in audit firm in ADR. Today I have joined, come here as a guest. This is my first day to apply before Medley Toastmasters Club, and I would through this not only this session, but going forward, whatever session I'm going to apply, I would like to enhance my speaking skills and be a confident speaker. Yeah, that's what I would say. Thank you. Thank you.
I would say you have come to a right forum where you can be a confident speaker as such, because there are a lot of members out here and where you can interact and gain your knowledge, and we also can gain the knowledge from yourself. Thank you, and keep visiting us. Well, today is a very special day. You know why? What is special today? I see Dr. Anuradha is not here, so that's why I'm asking this question. Because she comes always prepared with that. Okay, today is National Swap Ideas Day. What is National Swap Ideas Day? The name itself has a clue. It's a day where we exchange creative ideas with others. And Toastmasters is a platform where we are creative as well as innovative and share the ideas with others. So please listen to this session very carefully and you will get a lot of creative ideas which you can use in your personal as well as in professional life. Having said that, I can see DTM Raghavan Sridhar who has joined, as well as DTM Thomas Abraham who has joined as well. Thank you for joining. And having said that, we have our own club renewal going on. Okay, so this is one of the platforms where you can renew your membership, as well as if you are a new member or guest, you can also join, because we have our early bird offer closing in another couple of days. So please ensure that you renew your membership, because this is a platform where you can have your leadership as well as personal skills developed, as well as networking skills developed as part of this Toastmasters fraternity. I have a few announcements to make. Let us see. First of all, there is a 8-week challenge. Do you know about 8-week challenge? Okay. Our VP Dinagaran will be coming up with that. So what that means is we will have 8 weeks of continuous role-playing things that are already defined. So he has predefined like who will be playing the roles for the next 8 weeks. This is to ensure that we have inclusivity as part of our planning. So please ensure that whenever your name comes, or if you want to play any role, please ask Dinagaran so that he will be able to put your name over there. So that is one of the things that he has come up with, and please support that initiative. Next, Medley Award. We have got Medley Award. We are one of the few clubs who have got that already in the month of September itself. So that is one good thing, and I really congratulate or recognize our ExCom, our VP membership, as well as the members and role players who made this possible, and also the guests who have converted themselves to the membership also, because they find some value in Toastmasters, and that is the reason they have joined us. Then educational awards. We have got education awards for July and August. That list is out, and we have 8 Medley members out of 24 in Division C. That is 1/3 of awards are garnered by Medley. I'll share the names. So that is also one good thing. And there are 3 main members who have completed 2 roles, so 2 levels. And they are in line for the role player award as well as the other awards. Like there are many awards. When you complete 2 levels or 3 levels, you will get the Triple Crown award also. And there are 3 members who are already on that path. And I would urge everybody to complete their levels to ensure that you are also in the same path. Then we will have our AD visit, Area Director visit, planned on 17th September. And one important thing is we have to have 3 speeches. Okay, so that is one of the criteria where we can get some of the points because of that. Okay, so we will do all our level best, but you have to be prepared and come up with those speeches as well. And our VP Dinagaran will contact you so that you can give your speeches and complete them. Then we have a contest season also. It is on 24th September. Please ensure that once the contest chair is announced, you give your names. But that doesn't stop you from preparing. Right? So you can prepare for the contest. And if you are willing to play some role players role also, please ensure that you give your names. Okay, because this is a very good forum for your self-development as well. Then to take the meeting forward, we have a person called as TMOD who sticks to the agenda, sticks to the timeline. I know we are 5 to 10 minutes late, but that's a big challenge for the TMOD as well. But this person, for today's session, this person who will be taking over the TMOD role is a person who was a previous president also. He's very enthusiastic and very innovative. And this person I would say he is somebody who looks at details and ensure that he has the attention of details. And as a president, he has done a lot of good things. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Ranganath.
Thank you, Christy. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Let's jump into it straight away. What do you think? When do you think music started? Going back, could some of you tell me when did music actually start? Good. I've been thinking about it too. But I thought the first Homo sapiens, when they heard the trill of the birds and the gushing of the wind and the water splashing, that could have created something in them. Maybe they wanted to mimic the birds or the bleating of the sheep or whatever. And then they tried to put it together. There was a rhythm. And that, I feel, could have been the origins of the music. And from then on, it's taken various forms. The music that we know now is possibly 100 years old. So how many of you can just pick up a mic and start singing? How many of you like music? There you go. So we all know the answer now. Till the 70s, music was sort of laid back. It was mostly concentrated on at least the Tamil, Hindi, and the South Indian languages. Music was mostly based on the singers, the lyrics, and then music. Then what happened was, in 1978, I was a teenager, first year of college. And there was one song, a set of songs from the movie called Priya. Those were the first songs recorded in stereo. And I'd just like to play a small bit. Anyone can recognize the song? Violence, an assortment of music. And for a teenager, it was electrifying. I enjoyed this music, and from then on, I've been a true convert to Ilayaraja songs. In our lives much more. He has enhanced our lives. We have sort of grown together. And there are different types of music. What are the different types of music that you have heard? There you go. Country, classical, then pop music, assortment, vocal. So there's a huge assortment of songs that we have heard during our lifetimes. And there is music for every emotion that we have. Either we are happy, when we are sad, and somewhere in between. We always have some music which resonates and we are able to appreciate it. This meeting is going to be in 3 parts, rather 4 parts. First, we have the prepared speeches. Then we have the TT session. We have an education session to be conducted by DT and Raghavan Sridhar. And then we have the evaluation session. I would like to call upon our general evaluator to give us an idea about the role that, the GE role. When I asked him what was his view of music, he zeroed in on one particular song which he feels that has enlivened him on many occasions. And that song is from I don't know the movie, but the song is Raja Raja Shoyam. Music is by Ilayaraja, And it's a beautiful song, very mellifluous. Of course, any song of Yesudas is always mellifluous. So, welcome him.
Thank you, Neil. Fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests, good afternoon. In the recent past, you might have noticed that many people, maybe the talented or the young people, are brilliantly doing their professions, be it for singer, or be it for a dancer, or be it for music director, or be it for a film director. When I see that, there is one or rather two things are very common. Most of the people. Number one is that most of the people are entered their professions in a very young age. And second, and very important thing is that they receive a constructive feedback, not only from the mentor, even from others. Thanks for the technology. On the other side, people say that evaluate and assess your skill on a daily basis. That is the sure way to success. And today's theme, it is a story of music or the music. What is that, sir? The sound of music. Sorry, the sound of music. It's exactly same with the evaluations. Because music is the art. I would say that music and the evaluations are integral part of life. Probably I will touch upon in coming of the days. Typically, the evaluations will be forming part of two teams I have. One team, it is a track team. And second thing, it's the evaluation team. So at present, I'll be calling upon my track team. T stands for the timer. First, for the timer. Today, the time role will be played by Vendapelli. So who is a software engineer by professions and is currently working in one of the MNC companies. With this, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Venkat to read about timer objective.
Thank you, Shankar. As a timer, I time the table topics, speeches, and evaluations. Table topics, I will raise the green card at 1 minute, and yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. And for prepared speeches, at 5 minutes, I will raise the green card, and 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card, and 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. And for evaluations, at 2 minutes, I will raise the green card, 2.5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card, and 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. And hope all you follow the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat. The next and important it is for our counter. Today, the our counter role will be played by Toastmaster Janita. Toastmaster Janita is the HR profession. So when talk about the theme, she spoke about when she listens any kind of the music. See the butterfly. So usually it happens when table topic masters or the table topic speaker comes in here. I think it is different things for you. Over to you, Toastmaster Janita, to read about our counter objective.
Yes. Thanks for the wonderful opportunity, Shankar. So this is the second day I'm just taking up this role as our counter. So when I read the theme, the sound of music, I like wondered, I want to say a few words about it. So our life is, can you all able to hear me, right? Yes. So I could say is our life is like a music. People always wondering why. I'll say like what exactly. The music has the low notes, also the high notes, right? That makes the music very beautiful. Same as in our life, we have ups and downs. We always know happy accepting ups in our life, but a few times when it comes to downs, like we always feel bad. But those downs like makes us be very strong, so that ups and downs make our life very beautiful. That's what like life is like a music, and enjoy our life with the music too. So my role for the art counter today, the purpose of the art counter is to note the words and sounds that used as extras and pass, also the fillers by anyone who speaks. I will also listen to the overused words like and, well, so, and but. I'll also like note the filler sounds like also I will note the repeated words also. Maybe the end of the meeting I will give the report to the G regarding this. Thank you, Shankar. Thanks for the opportunity once again.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jenica. And the other important role will be played by a Toastmaster Hemant. Toastmaster Hemant is new Toastmasters to Medley Toastmaster, and he's a research scholar in IIT Madras, and he's researching on the power energy. And Toastmaster Hemant, I would like to call upon the grammarian objective and also introduce the word of the day.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language uses. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day. So today's meeting, the word is preclude, P-R-E-C-L-U-D-E, preclude, which means to prevent something from happening. It's a verb. And examples of it is like his religious belief preclude him from joining army. Second example is lack of time preclude any discussion. Each speaker is encouraged to use word of the day. I will give grammarians report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the uses of the word of the day. In my background also, I will put this word so that it will remind everyone to use it. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hemant. So with this, I'll be signing off, and I'll make an entry in later part of the day with my evaluation team. So with this, I'll go on.
Can you ask him to?
I think it's there. Hemant, can you put it in the chat also? Because the word is not visible to everyone.
Okay, I will put.
Okay, Toastmaster Hemant. With this, I'll hand over the stage to Toastmaster Rangarajan.
Right. Thank you. So now we go to the first section, which is the prepared speeches. We have two speakers today, and the first speaker is Toastmaster Prasannavani. Toastmaster Prasannavani is the current secretary of our ExCom, and her minutes of the meeting is a pleasure to read. Every week is very different, and she packs in a lot of stuff in the minutes of the meeting. So she's doing her first project in the leadership level 2, and it is about leadership. So before she comes over, I'm going to request for her evaluator, Toastmaster Priyadarshini, to read about the objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pradeep. Prasannavani will be attending Dynamic Leadership Level 2 Project 1, Understanding Your Leadership Styles. The purpose is to identify your primary leadership style or styles. The time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
So when I asked Prasannavani about music, the first thing that came to her mind was the trip that she had taken with her friends during college to Goa. And the songs were from the movie called Gangster, Hindi movie. They were playing it in loop for 5 days at a stretch. That is something. So welcome, Toastmaster Prasannavani. Her title is A Lighthouse and the Compass. Lighthouse and the Compass, Toastmaster Prasannavani.
How many of us here have ever felt that something that you aspire to accomplish is not happening despite your best efforts? Thank you so much. It gives much relief to know that I'm not sailing on the boat alone. This question has been in my mind for long. The reason is, 1 year back in my career, I felt the same. How much ever hard I tried, something was preventing me from reaching where I wanted to be. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, and yes, let me make it clear. I have a fulfilling and fantastic job. Despite that, I have this deep-seated desire in me to become a full-time researcher, seeking solutions to make human lives better. I felt like a well-engineered ship staying anchored in a harbor, a ship that is on the brink of breaking free and barging into the sea. Before I take the plunge, I wanted to test the waters. So 1 year back, I drafted my first research project. I did a serious search of literature, roped in the best of investigators, and after much meticulous preparation, I presented my project and with repeated revisions, got it approved. And today, this painstakingly planned and perfected project has not seen the light of the day. It remains nothing more than a folder in my laptop. I had nicknamed my project with an acronym for a stretched out sentence of medical jargon as prosperity. The inside joke at my workplace was prosperity is in poverty. I can still hear those laughters. My project faced rough weather many times. The beginning blow came when I had to find funding from the project. That was what this brought me to Toastmasters. Gradually, I became better at communication. I met potential sponsors, explained my project purpose, helped them see the vision I had, and finally, a sponsor agreed to fund my project. That was like a flicker of light shining through the darkness. Next, I went through those problematic procedures and obtaining permissions at various levels. It helped me delve deeper into the details which I had missed earlier. My persistence and optimism paid off. I got all the required permissions. I then called up all my team members and said, let's meet and discuss how we're going to implement this. I solicited suggestions from everyone, and everybody was pleased to participate and offer their ideas. At the end of the meeting, everyone felt the plan needs to be changed. That would take me back to square one. I had to rework the funding, again go through all those approvals and permissions. I felt like a needle in my compass suddenly changed direction and asked me to go in the reverse. I felt miserable and maddened at the suggestion not given earlier. I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. My head of the department understood my plight and said, see, this has happened. You are still capable of doing this. Try to find a way out without creating conflict. You need this team. Those words was like lighting up a dying fire in me. I sat down again, reviewed reams of literature, and studied the suggestion to make the change. And I realized that the new plan was practically impossible. I drafted an email to my team explaining this and the decision to adhere to the initial plan. I contemplated confrontations, but what came was complaints. My needle was not pointing in the right direction. My rough weather did not cease. I now had to train my subordinate, Devadashini, on how to implement this project. Devadashini was a young graduate, full of eager energy, yet she fumbled often and left me fuming with anger. I showed my displeasure on her, and I could see that her performance kept plunging day by day. The flame of my light kept flickering, and the needle in my compass kept wavering. I'm still at sea with no progress seen. This Toastmasters project on understanding my leadership style has empowered me to explain the impediments I encountered, It has equipped me with a lighthouse and a compass. I now identify the pattern which precluded my progress in this project. The lighthouse has enabled me to see all the mistakes I had made. I did not delegate tasks, took it all upon myself, and thereby missed many details. I did not set clear timelines and communicate with my team members. They all kept coming with suggestions long after the project was finally approved. I was quick to find fault and criticize, but never appreciated a task done well, thereby demoralizing Devadashini. My compass helped me understand the leadership styles I had exhibited in this process. I understand the importance of communication for a leader during my search for sponsors. In the bureaucratic leadership I encountered while obtaining the various permissions, though I found it overwhelming initially, it helped in ensuring discipline. I demonstrated the democratic style of leadership when I sought solutions and suggestions from everyone, but ultimately had to resort to the authoritative style when I made my decision amid discord. The affiliate leadership style by my head of the department gave me the much needed emotional solace and kept our team together. I had used the coaching style of leadership in training my subordinate. Empowered with this needle and compass, the way I perceive leadership and the direction I will take hereafter will not be the same. To my fellow friends here who are traveling with me in the same boat, I urge you to understand your leadership style before you proceed to pursue your goals. Life does not get better by seeking chance. It gets better by making change. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
It was a wonderful speech telling us what we should do instead of chance, make the change. Our next speaker is Nikki Patel. May I request Nikki Patel to turn on the mic so we can see. Thank you. So when I asked him about music, his thought was he listens to different types of music and dance from across cultures. It helps him to understand various cultures better. So having said that, I would request his evaluator, Toastmaster Saravanan, to give details about his speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Nikki Patel, there is a popular demand that you switch on your camera always so that we can see your bright smile. Toastmaster Nikki Patel is presenting his speech on Dynamic Leadership Pathways, Level 3, Elective, Researching and Presenting. The title of the speech is The Crown. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized as well as well-researched speech on any topic. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Nikki Patel.
Toastmaster Nikki Patel, The Crown. The Crown, Toastmaster Nikki Patel.
Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Have you had a situation where you are listening to some amazing music, either at home or your car, and you hear some breaking news? Has it happened to you? You listen to some breaking news while listening to music. I guess it did happen to me on 3 occasions this week. They all had a relevant theme, which got me really excited. So music sometimes makes you to think. So the first news was, India is shedding its colonial past. So the naval flag which still has a Union Jack symbol. It got changed recently. Then we had in Delhi, where the government resides, Rajpath, the road, it's named to Kartavya Path. And interestingly, another piece of news, India economy did overtake UK as the 5th largest economy in the world. Wow, so much breaking news. And just a couple of days back, when I thought I would continue to listen to music, I also heard that the UK Queen Elizabeth II passed away at the ripe age of 96. Don't you think, friends, all these events have some relation to each other? That led me to thinking and researching. So the Queen Elizabeth II ruled for 70 years. That's 2 generations. Many of you would have seen the Netflix drama, The Crown, which was very popular. Now that led me to thinking is, why is the Queen so important? In today's term, if you ask me, the Queen is a very nominal head. King Charles, who is just become the king now, he's the 40th monarch. And his monarchy is in continued existence since at least 900 to 1000 years, right from William the Conqueror in the 9th century, and now we have Prince Charles on the who is the 40th monarch as such. And why did it all this happen? It happened because we all know there was a time when Britannia ruled the waves. What does that mean? At its peak, the British Empire had a presence in multiple countries and control over 400 million subjects. It had 1/4 of the land mass under its control and 37% of exports globally. Today, everything is made in China. Just a few years back, everything was made in UK. And why did it all this happen? It happened because of the crown, I would say. So the UK monarch, King Henry, was a visionary. He visualized that his small island can rule the world by building a maritime base. So in 1498, he called upon an Italian explorer, John Cobalt, to sail to Asia, India, via the Americas. And that led to a lot of investment in maritime trade. So today's India Navy, that's the reason it still used the Union Jack in its symbol. You can see the influence. It's very deep. And that led to a lot of trade, which was very strategic in nature. Did you know that the Industrial Revolution, of which we all benefited, was funded by none other than the Battle of Plassey in 1757? Yes. So whatever the proceeds that the crown got, it invested in its Industrial Revolution. And as a result, it became like a superpower of those times and a leading economy at the same, thanks to the crown as such. So yes, the Queen should receive some level of recognition, or the crown should be directly held responsible for many of the things that are happening. Now coming to India, isn't it fascinating that overall UK benefited by taking $45 trillion from India over a period of 200 odd years since it was in India. That's an astonishing number. But today, Indian economy, which is $3.5 trillion, has overtaken UK. And in a matter of 5 years, it will overtake Germany to be a $5 trillion economy. Now, how did this all happen? India doesn't have the monarchy or the crown, but yeah, some credit goes to the government, irrespective of whoever is in power, because in 90s, India became a more liberal economy. What that led is a series of private and public partnership, and the human capital and the large Indian population has been galvanized to a point that in 1992, Indian economy was $288 billion in nominal GDP, and now it's a $3.5 trillion economy. The government did introduce a series of liberalization measures which opened up the economy. And what you are seeing is a very successful feature of that as such. Isn't that fascinating? Now, as a result, the government wants to shed its colonial past. But no matter how much you do, like the language that I'm speaking, English, came to us thanks to the crown. It's a global language these days. So yes, you can try to forget your history, but you cannot come out of it. That's what I think, isn't it? Even, isn't it fascinating? One of the most popular rock concert bands has been named as the Queen, and that was none other by Freddie Mercury, who is an Indian origin singer. So to conclude, what did I learn from all of this is we should never forget our past, but we should be influenced by it. Think independently. How many of you remember Sourav Ganguly taking out of his T-shirt in celebration in Lords? I do remember. So you should always come out of your baggage which you have and don't be confined to the past. Learn from it, embrace for the future, and the future is always bright. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Vicky. That was quite illuminating. Our next session is the education session. DTM Raghavan Sridhar is going to give an education session on evaluation, how to ace evaluations. A brief introduction about DTM Raghavan Sridhar. He's a Toastmaster for the last decade. He's currently working in Ericsson as a senior manager in the R&D function. He credits all his progress personally and professionally to Toastmasters. His personality has been shaped by the forum, and he is a proud member. He is the current champion of District 120 in the ISC contest. He has also been a district finalist in the evaluation and TT contest in the past. He's a blogger, violinist, and a father. His 5-year-old daughter is his biggest inspiration today. Also, I do remember parts of his speech in the ISC. It was about a mouse, I think, if I remember right. So, welcome, DTM Raghavan Sridhar. Okay. So, time is
Hi, am I audible and visible? Okay, thank you so much. I completely missed the introduction you gave me, Toastmaster of the Day. I hope it is a good one. Thank you so much. I want to share my screen from my second device. So there is some issue with my device. So on the device that I'm sharing my screen on, my audio doesn't seem to be working. My audio is clear to all of you, right? Just checking with all of you. Some yes, no, maybes. Is my audio clear? Okay, good. All right, so thank you so much, Medley Toastmasters Club. Thank you so much for having me here. Our previous speaker was saying it is very important for us to remember the history and to take lessons from it. Well, Medley is my fond history, I should say. It is not yet history, but it's a very fond memory that I have with Medley. I have some of my best friends from Medley. I have quite a few of my mentors at Medley, and all those lovely times at Gandhinagar Club that I have been to. I know you have changed venues, but Gandhinagar Club, I really hold very close to my heart, because it is in those meetings that I really learned some of what I'm going to share with you today. So through this meeting today, I would want some interaction as well. So if you are at in this hybrid meeting in the venue there, try to work on your mute unmute button. The more we interact, the more fun it will be. Right. So evaluation contests are around the corner, aren't they? So I think it's very critical for us to understand the soul of evaluation. So through the next 20 minutes, we are going to discuss a few dimensions of evaluations, a few lessons that I have learned that I'm going to share with you. But if none of it stays in your head, if you forget everything else, I want you to remember this, what you see on screen. My session's title and my message are the same. Evaluate a champion. What does that mean? Well, no matter who you are evaluating, no matter what their project is, no matter what context is it, no matter whether it's a contest or it's just a club speech or it's an icebreaker or it's a guest speech, it's just for entertainment that you're doing, whether it is kitty evaluation or speech evaluation, remember that you are evaluating a champion. It doesn't matter if the speaker is a first timer. It doesn't matter if the speaker is a DTM. It doesn't matter if it is a Toastmaster from another country. You are evaluating a champion. Why is that important? Because then you transcend certain spaces and you are going to evaluate a champion, right? And when you're evaluating a champion, you're not going to be finding faults. Your entire exercise is not going to be nitpicking. The entire experience is going to be about, hey, how do I make a champion even better? Right? So remember, you're always evaluating a champion. And hey, what's more, you evaluate like you are a champion. Nobody needs to give you a title or a trophy and tell you, hey, you are a champion for you to become one. A champion is nothing but a set of actions. A champion is just a behavior. It's not a person, it is a behavior. Champion is a mindset. Champion is not a trophy, it's not a title, it's a mindset. So when you evaluate someone, evaluate like you are a champion. Have that pride about yourself. Have that value systems where you are not going to look at the speaker and say, hey, your body language should be different. Well, hey, that's obvious, that's okay. Just look at something more. Look at the depth of the speech. Look at what you can do to help the speaker become so much more better. How do we do that? Well, we'll see it soon enough, right? So remember, anytime you evaluate, you are evaluating a champion. And every time you evaluate, you must evaluate like a champion. That, ladies and gentlemen, is actually 10 years of learning put into one sentence. Okay, I've been a Toastmaster since 2012. This is my 10th anniversary and I've done. I've given you all the learnings I've had. End of session, closed, bye-bye, thank you. Hey, we are just getting started, okay? Good. So when I thought of Medley and this particular session, I have been to Medley and delivered session on evaluation 5 times before today, 5 times. I just checked my materials. There are through 5 different years, I've delivered 5 sessions. And in 3 of those years, the material has remained almost the same. So I thought, let me do a little bit of a topsy-turvy, meaning our contexts have changed. We have gone from meeting in person to meeting virtually. And we have gone from finding out different aspects in the physical speech to now having to evaluate and dissect even world champion speeches virtually, right? So I thought, let's do a topsy-turvy. Whatever content I bring in, at the end of every session, we are bringing it to the first today. Okay, it's a little bit of a topsy-turvy. Let's get going. But before we go into the topsy-turvy itself, I have a question for all of you. In case you have heard this question before and you know the answer before, don't spoil it for others. Okay. A quick check for the people in the hall. Are you able to speak? Say yes. Are you muted, unmute?
Yes.
I heard okay, that's good. Thank you. Because here's a question, right? And I want you all to think about this question. What is the difference between a review and an evaluation? Between a speech review and a speech evaluation. What do you think is the difference? Some answers, please. Anybody, of course, from the hall, but of course, others online too.
So review is more like a feedback. Evaluation is the feed forward. I would consider that way.
Okay, good words, feedback and feed forward. What does feed forward mean?
So the insights from evaluation, the speaker could take up and make some progress from where he is now and move forward.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Very nicely put. I think one of the very important points. Brilliant, thank you. Though I didn't know who was it, who spoke. I couldn't get the name.
Toastmaster Venkatesh.
Hi Venkat. Yeah, hi Venkatesh. Okay, good point. Review is feedback, while evaluation is feed forward, meaning you can take the point from the evaluation and do it again. Super, great. Yes, Toastmaster Venkatesh.
Hi, Raghavan. How are you, Raghavan?
I'm very good, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. How are you?
In my review is like the perception about the speech. Evaluation means plus and minus, positives and negatives. This is my view.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Venkatesh. Yeah. What other answers do we have? Somebody from the hall. Does it take too much effort for you guys to come near the mic and then speak? If so, don't worry. But if not, one of you. Okay. So I understand there is some kind of a space between the mic and you, but okay. So I think what TM Venkat said at the start has come quite close, right? So a review is sort of feedback. Something has happened and you're giving a feedback or a point that may or may not actually reach the creator. It may or may not be something that the creator might be able to work on. For example, movie reviews, right? You're able to give a review on the movie. Chances are that the creator makes another movie and then he takes your feedback. But then if the genre is different, if the context is different, then your feedback may or may not even be relevant to that next point. So in many ways, it is a feedback. It's just letting you know how things were, how things weren't. Whereas an evaluation, especially speech evaluations, could be that you can take for your next speech and then improve overall. But then the counterpoint to that is, in both ways, it could be the same. The movie director or the creator or the speech writer or the speaker can take the review, the points from the review and go back and work on it and deliver the next one with the corrected version. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. But I think, the overall answer or the more specific difference, and which is very important for all of you to know, is a review is just an expression of opinion. In a review, you can say, hey, the speech about the crown was fantastic. However, I wish you had better eye contact with the audience. That's a review. You know what an evaluation is? In an evaluation, it's not enough if you just express an opinion and say something did not work. The most important aspect of evaluation is you journey in the shoes of the creator or the speaker and say how something that didn't work could have been made better. So for instance, I should say the speech about the crown was fantastic. However, the eye contact could have been better. You could have made it better by looking at the camera than at the screen, because when the speech was delivered looking at the screen, it felt like you were reading statistics from a written document in front, whereas you might actually just have been looking at somebody on screen. Understand the difference, right? A review is just an expression of opinion. It has no other prerequisite, or it doesn't have any other requirements. Whereas an evaluation, especially in the Toastmasters context, forces you, makes you, molds you into a better leader and a speaker by asking you to not just say how something did or didn't work, but also suggest ways constructively, tangibly on how something can be made better, or how something can be improved. Understood? A few nods. Yeah, I see thumbs up. Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesh. So that's the most important difference. So why is it important? The next time you're doing an evaluation, ensure that you don't make it into a review. Have it in your mind that, hey, I just cannot say something didn't work. I must definitely say how something should have been done better. I should illustrate that. Okay, good. Let's go up into the next aspect, which I usually cover at the end, but because we are doing a topsy-turvy, I'm bringing it to the front. I call this evaluation etiquettes. The stress on the E is because we have become hybrid, or we have become online, right? So what you used to do as evaluation in person versus what evaluation you're having to do today have changed. For instance, very rarely do we see speakers standing up and delivering speeches these days, unless it is in hybrid and the speaker himself or herself is on the stage. And even then, all you have is a 2D image, unless you are in the same room as the speaker. So there are a few techniques or electronic techniques that I really wanted to share with you, so that you can take it into your contests and perform better in these contests. Because even now, even in this year, TMI has said contests have to be done either online or in a hybrid fashion, meaning it can't be a completely offline fashion. So you are going to either have contestants online or judges online or both online. So let's quickly look at some of the evaluation techniques, okay? Firstly, perhaps the most important, and this hasn't changed regardless of the mode of delivery. As an evaluator, always try and focus on the writing first. What is the constant? What's the premise of the speech? How is the conflict in the speech? A conflict is just that point where the speech turns left or right. It's not necessarily the point where something bad happens, okay? It is just this point where the speech turns left or right, and focus on the conclusion as well. How punchy was the conclusion? How could it have been made better? How did the audience, how was the speaker able to capture the audience's imagination, etc. So always ensure that you devote a major portion of your evaluation on the writing of the speech itself. Yes, the delivery is critical, but the writing is the soul of any speech. Next up, be empathetic towards the technical glitches, right? The noises and the body language, or the how they are looking at what's the distraction around, what's the sound around. What do I mean by be empathetic is don't dismiss a speech because the speech wasn't clear enough. Because in some speakers, there's a trouser hanging just behind the speaker. Most of us are at home. So just behind us, there is a trouser hanging somewhere. Or there is an image of a fan that's constantly running and all you can see is that fan. So be empathetic towards it, meaning do tell the speaker that can be corrected and fixed, but be kind in saying that, because now we have taken Toastmasters home. And so we are joining in from home. So these are obviously going to be there, but don't give your entire focus to that parts alone that didn't work, but be empathetic towards it. Have a kind mention, but look at other things also. Next, discuss and assess the usage of props. Again, in any speech that we do, the props are a huge boost in terms of points that you can score on a judge's sheet. If you are able to, as an evaluator, comment on the usage or lack of, or how some prop could have been brought into the speech to elevate the speech itself, because it's easy for audience to understand it. It can capture imagination easily. So try to discuss how any prop can actually be used, right? So a prop usage and the discussions of a prop usage can actually uplift and elevate your evaluation and the speech also. Like I said, right? You must have evaluation tips. Don't become a reviewer. So always try and give useful and specific recommendation. For example, if a speaker's audio kept going back and forth or if the clarity of the camera wasn't great, if you end up, you must say that, sure. But if you end up making your evaluation only about the lack of audio clarity in the speech, the speaker will be like, yeah, it's a one-time fix. I can fix it. Then what? What else is there in my speech that could have become better, right? So try to give more specific, more relevant, and more useful info that the speaker can take in terms of writing, in terms of characterizations, in terms of conflict, in terms of speed and rate of pitching, voice modulations, etc. That can go a little beyond just this speech, this instance alone, which can overall give you extra points also on the judges' ballot. Next up, discuss vocal variety and rate of speech, especially in the hybrid context. How do you change your voice? Because sometimes if you're wearing headphones like I am wearing right now, there is an inbuilt noise suppression and vocal audio gain suppression already there. So even if I scream, my shrill sounds are sometimes regulated. So what else can you do? Silence is a great option. Pause is a great option. Speaking fast, speaking slow, breathing in. These are all good points that as an evaluator, you can note down and tell the speaker that these are things that can bring out really great difference to the speech. Finally, listen in with undivided attention. It's absolutely easy to get distracted. See, I am somewhere else. You are somewhere else. I am speaking to you through that screen. And just in case it's going a little boring, it's slightly off. If the speaker is a little, if he or she is not able to capture your attention completely, it's easy for an evaluator to sort of zone off. The temptation to take your mobile and check a WhatsApp is reality today. It's easy. But as an evaluator, ensure you listen in with undivided attention, and you, for those 5 to 7 minutes, don't get distracted at all. Yeah, a few points. I know there were the complexity of these points are a little up and down. That's usually because this comes at the end of the slide pack. Huh? So yeah, but journey with me, be with me. First and the last points are really important. Please ensure you focus on the writing of a speech, because that's what helps you win contests. With me till now on this slide? Any comments, questions? No thumbs up this time from Venkateshan, sir.
Yeah, what is meant by the sixth line? Listen with undivided attention.
Meaning, don't let your attention be split anywhere else. Ensure that your focus is completely on the speech. Sorry? Yeah, your attention should be on the speaker. Correct, okay. Exactly. Focus, listen, don't get distracted at all. That's what I mean. All right, oh, there is still one more. Yeah, you see, I kept this for the end. Ensure you focus on the speaker, right? Avoid fidgeting with the text, like I'm just doing. I was just pushing through the thumbnails to see who other speakers available. Sometimes during a speech, we do that, saying, okay, what else is he saying? How is the audience responding? Because we want the audience response to be one of the points we write on the evaluation. So I don't know after the fourth thumbnail who is there, and I sort of try and peek. In the hall, you sometimes speak and see what others are doing, if anybody is smiling. But hey, when you are in this as an evaluator, ensure you focus completely on the speaker and the speech. 6th and 7th points are really the same, but it's critical for you to focus on the speaker and the speech throughout the session or throughout the speech, so that you bring the best out of yourself and the speaker also. Okay, good. We will come to this slide. Before we go to that slide, I want to discuss this. I know you might have gotten a quick peek into it, but I want to share this with you. Okay, and I want some responses, at least people in Online, if you are having easy access to your unmute mute button, go for this. Okay, so you must have all heard some really good evaluations, and I'm assuming that you know that you are able to recall some of the very good aspects of a quality of a very good evaluation. So help me fill up this slide. If you have taken a peek into the slide, sure, no problem, go for it. But still, I want you to give me a good quality, a quality of a good evaluation that begins with the letter A. How should an evaluation be?
Affirmative.
Somebody. Sorry, affirmative. Very good try. Good point. Yeah. That's not the word I have on screen though. What else? Hey, the Medley Hall is too silent. That has taken one aspect completely away from this session. It's actually not okay at all. Somebody come near the mic, take the answers from the audience and answer. Punishment for somebody there. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Try. Some of you try. What is you have seen a lot of evaluations and some of them have been so good, no? What was one of those qualities, starting with the letter A, preferably?
Assertive.
Assertive. Appreciative. Good.
Analysis.
Analytical. Very good attempt.
Authentic.
Authentic.
Appropriate.
Appropriate. Very good. Now answers are coming from Medley on the hall. Great. Yeah. Venkatesan is raising his hands again. Venkatesan sir, go for it.
No, I'll try next.
Okay, you'll try the next. Okay. Abstract. Anything else? Abstract. An evaluation shouldn't really be abstract. Okay, but I will give you the answer, right? Accuracy. All of the answers you gave, analytical, affirmative, assertive, all of this, when you combine them together, the answer is be accurate. What do I mean by be accurate? Have you seen evaluations where they come and say, fantastic job, Toastmaster Venkatesan, brilliant speech. That's the best icebreaker I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, hello, icebreaker. I myself know I didn't do a great job. What do you mean by best speech ever heard? So sometimes we take this empathy too far. In Toastmasters, because you have to be positive, no? You have to appreciate speakers, right? So we take that too far and sort of whitewash and say, oh, everything was great. Amazing speech. And then we say, in your speech, I couldn't find anything to improve at all. Fine, maybe there are times like that. I'm not saying no, but then you are not being accurate enough. Being accurate is having the ability to understand how the speech was and finding the right words and tonality to express as it is, right? So there are some times when the other thing also happens. Somebody bashes a speech. They just say, hey, nothing worked in your speech at all. There was no redeeming factor. That's not okay either. So always be accurate. The evaluation that have stolen your heart have a style, but they're also really accurate. You feel, hey, whatever I had in mind, exactly the same thing he or she said, but he said it with a little more style, right? So accuracy is point number one. Thank you, Sadhana Toms. If you're standing there, I really appreciate it. Please stand. Let's complete the ABCD and then I'll release you from there, okay? Good. What is the next quality of a good evaluation that starts with the letter B?
Being bold.
Bold.
Balanced.
Balanced. Brilliant. Yeah. If you think of it a little bit, balanced and bold will automatically come in if you are being accurate. Right? What was it? Sajana? Sorry, I don't know your name. Please let me know your name.
I'm Shankar.
Shankar, thank you, Shankar. Yeah. What was the answer, Shankar?
Huh?
What was that?
Brevity.
Somebody knows the script already. Now, this is why we need that interaction, because at least I know who knows. But yes, brevity. If 4 words are enough, use 4 words. I have this habit of using so many words to convey the very same meaning. All I want to say is that you have to be brief, but I have the tendency of going on and on and on and say, hey, it was very long. It could have been cut short. Hey, it was so lengthy. You understand what I mean, right? Be brief. You know what that does, especially in context, being brief. In addition to helping you make the point in a crisp manner, it also helps you save 15 to 20 seconds per point. And that is gold. In a contest, contestants lose by 5 seconds, by 1 second even. I have lost a division contest in 2 seconds. I have gotten disqualified just because it was 2 seconds late. Hey, but that 2 second rate itself is actually 30 seconds beyond your normal time, plus 2 seconds, so 32. But, always have brevity as one of your hallmarks. The more crisp you can be, the better the points get carried across. And all your answers were right. Okay, balanced and boldness, they also come under it. But if you're accurate, they automatically come in. And together between accuracy and brevity, your assertiveness, your analytical skills, your being positive, all of them get covered very well. So accuracy and brevity, and Shankar, whoever gave the answer brevity, you can ask them not to answer the next question.
He's a new Toastmaster.
Oh, then great. Okay. Ask her to answer what is C then.
Crisp. Crisp. Crisp.
Crisp. That is brevity, right? Brevity
Candor.
and crispness are the
Candor.
Candor. Candor, okay, being candid. Thomas, again, accuracy and candor are a little bit of cousins and relatives. So let's go for long distance relationship here.
Comprehensive.
Comprehensive.
Compassion.
Confident.
Confident, yeah. Another word.
Constructive feedback.
Constructive feedback. Let me give you an example here, okay? What I'm fishing for. One of the evaluations I got was, Raghavan, your body language was fantastic. And then later on in the area of improvement, you put your hands inside your pocket. So please ensure you don't do that.
Conflict.
Raghavan,
Consistent.
your eye contact was fantastic. But you are looking only at Thomas for half of your speech.
Coherent.
The interactions were great, but the interactions could have been better.
Contradiction.
Consistency.
Contradiction.
Compare. Okay.
You see, I was trying to play with all of you, right? Be very clear in what you are trying to tell the speaker as an evaluator. Don't have this conflict. Somebody said conflict. Yeah, but being conflicting is not a quality of a good evaluation. Being clear is the quality of a good evaluation. So if you want to say, Raghavan, your body language must have been better, don't start off saying your body language was fantastic. If you are trying to say your eye was focused more on Thomas than on the others, don't start off saying your eye contact was fantastic. What do you want to ask the speaker to improve on? Or what are you commending the speaker on must be made really clear, both for yourself and for the speaker. Don't spend too much time alternating between the same point as positive and negative, because that tends, especially in contests, to confuse the audience, the judges, and the speaker also. Okay, so be very clear. Timer, I am not able to pin you technically, whatever, but how are we on time?
30 minutes long. 30 minutes long.
30 minutes over.
10 more minutes.
Okay. Okay, excellent, brilliant. Now, this point on your screen, the word that starts with D, is the difference between winning the trophy and not winning it. It can be the difference between you winning hearts with your evaluations and people saying, I don't care if Raghavan won the trophy, he won my heart. It was fantastic. I remember the evaluation. This point here is that winning difference. What do you think that is?
Sorry? Decisive.
Yeah. Decisive. Go forward a little more.
Demonstrate.
Demonstrate. To see, like I said, the basic quality of an evaluation is demonstration. If you don't demonstrate, you are not being an evaluator at all. So that's the basic. What we're talking about is that winning difference. It's at the top. What do you think it would be?
Distinct.
Thomas, repeat again.
Distinctive.
Distinctive. Go a little more. How can you be distinctive? What should you do to be distinctive?
Different.
How? How are you going to be different? More tangible answer. You're all tempting me to click on the next button now. Should I? Should I not? Should I?
Decision factor. Sorry, deciding factor.
What is the deciding factor? So I say, Shankar, you have to have a deciding factor in evaluation. Shankar is like, okay, how? How? How can you be distinctive? How can you be different? How can you be decisive? Okay, I'm going to click the next button in 3.
Definite.
Definite. What do you mean? How can I be definite? 2.
Depend.
Dialogue.
Depend.
Definitive. Definitive.
Shankar himself is now rejecting some answers.
Because you are asking a lot of questions to me, correct?
See, the answer is density or depth. The way for you to reach the top is by going till the bottom. I'll explain what I mean. One of my mentors, actually 2 of my mentors, DTM Vijayalakshmi Soundararajan and DTM Jain Narayan, they keep telling me, Raghavan, in an evaluation contest, stop talking about stage usage, body contact, body language, eye contact, vocal variety. In a contest, especially say division contest, stop talking about body language, vocal variety, eye contact, stage usage. Then I'm like, what? What else will I speak on? All 4 gone. All 4 of the top evaluation recommendations we write, gone out of the window. I shouldn't talk about it as commendation. I shouldn't talk about it as a recommendation also. Done. Throw it out. See, it's not that these are not important. These are important. Very important, actually. But you tell yourself, in a division contest, the other 7 evaluators will talk about it. How can I be different, Thomas sir? How can I be distinctive? Just try and go deeper. Because this is visible to everybody. Stage usage, eye contact, body language, vocal variety, everybody is privy to this. Everybody can easily note this. Now, if you want to win contests, go deeper. So what can I talk on? In the previous slide, the first point, talk about the writing. How well the characters are fleshed out. Talk about the characters. Talk about the emotions in the speech. Talk about the conflict point, meaning the point where the suspense is broken, or how did the speech build up to that point where the speech goes to the next level, where the speech turns or pivots, or where there is something life-changing or speech-changing that happens. Talk about that conflict point. How was the positioning of it? Was it predictable? Could it have been amped up even more? How was the suspense in the speech? How were the dialogues within these characters within the speech? How was the conclusion of the speech? How could it have been better? Got it. I got the green card. Thank you. How was the journey of the character in the speech who was narrating all of it? How were the props within the speech? How did the speaker position himself or herself or the audience in the speech? Were we third person? where the first person could it have been better if it was a mix and match of it? How was the flow of the speech? Did we have a linear narrative or a non-linear narrative? What could have worked? What could have been done differently? How were the metaphors and rhetorics within the speech? I hope somebody is recording this so that you can take the examples, right? Because if you ask me to repeat in the same order, I myself can't. But see, the thing is, there are about 100 different things within the speech and a speaker that you as an evaluator can look at. But what we do many times is these top four, this big four, they come in: stage usage, body language, vocal variety, eye contact. They come in, they are tempting us a lot. They are like the cream layer on the cake. We love the cream, sure, but the flesh is in the cake itself. Cake metaphor, yeah, I think it's 5 p.m. and I'm a little hungry. But so it is like that. So we don't really enjoy the cake. We just do with the icing. We just do with the cream of it. So try to go a little deeper. And in a contest, when all 7 other contestants are speaking about this icing, you will be the one who has spoken about the cake in detail. That will make you distinctive. That will be the differentiating factor. That will define who you are as a speaker. And hey, even if you don't win the trophy, Shankar will remember, hey, Raghavan alone came and gave that point that I don't even know if the speaker thought of it, but Raghavan thought. So that is, we do this dissection of movies, right? Even the director wouldn't have thought of all those details, but he somehow. So there is a lot to learn from doing that. I hope you all read the dissection of Endini speech by our world champion. I got the yellow card, thank you. The World Championship Public Speaking. Thomas wrote an article. Thomas wrote a small essay on the speech and the speaker and the different aspects of the speech. I hope you all read it. If not, go and read it. The first question I had in my mind was, hey, did the speaker himself think of all that? But hey, then that's your job as an evaluator also sometimes, to be able to find details that others might miss. With me till now? Can we have Shankar back on the stage? Sorry, Shankar. Come back. Now,
you're fond of my name, Raghav.
Yeah, I am fond of you also, not just the name. Ask the audience to tell you what are the qualities of a good evaluation. What are the A, B, C, and D? Accuracy, right?
Clarity, density.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. You've got it right. Accuracy, brevity, clarity, and density. Combine this with the Thank you so much, Shankar. You can sit back there. Thank you. Combine this with the first slide that we saw where we had some evaluation techniques. It said focus on the writing, focus on the speaker, have undivided attention on a speech. Be empathetic towards these technical glitches, meaning address them, sure, but don't spend all of your time there. There is also another slide about packaging this entire evaluation, but we will see that some other day, because that's, you all, I hope, know the sandwich technique. That is a great technique in itself that can win you contests as well. Use some metaphors, use some acronyms, like I'm doing ABCD, right? Try to use some acronyms to deliver your evaluation. I think those will be good packaging also. With that, I wanted to spend a little bit of time to have and answer questions if you have on contests, on judging. Yeah, Venkatesan sir has already raised your hand. I'll come to you, Venkatesan. But I'm just curious to know if at all there are any of you who are very new to contests or very experienced in contests, and if you want to discuss a few aspects of it. Let's see. Let's start with Venkatesan. Please go ahead, sir.
Raghavan, I have any thumb rule is there. You have to say 3 positive and 2 negatives, like a stage and voice, vocal variety in the contest. I'm talking about the contest. Is it necessary? I can say the positive side. Three things I can elaborate within 3 minutes, and I can conclude my speech. No, is it? They will not consider my evaluation if I'm doing like this.
So
they say that the negatives also.
Yeah, I will tell you. First of all, let us remove the word negatives. We are evaluators, not reviewers. We are not here to find faults or negatives. Second, the judging ballot gives you 4 areas under which you are marked. It's called ARPS, ARPS. Analysis, recommendation, technique, summary. Analysis is your overall observation and recollection of the entire speech. How have you analyzed the speech? The positives and the area of improvements. How have you analyzed? 40 marks. The second highest is for recommendations, 30 points. So if you are not giving any recommendation for a speech in a contest, you are already losing out on 30. You're writing the exam only for 70 marks. Then you can understand if you can win or not, right? So analysis 40, recommendation 30, technique 15, summary another 15. So analysis, recommendation, technique, and summary, that's how you are marked. So to your second question, Venkatesan, yes, it is important for you to give areas of improvement also. If you don't do that, you're losing out on 30 marks. To your first question, is there a template? See, you have to deliver a balanced meal, balanced evaluation. It must have everything, sugar, spice, and everything nice. So if you are, a good combination would be 3 positives and 2 recommendations. That would make a good, proper, wholesome meal. But there are no specific earmarks. You can do 2 positives, 2 recommendations, 3 positives, 3 recommendations, 1 positive, 4 recommendations. Doesn't matter. You just have to create a proper package fitting the speech and the speaker. And don't just focus on how many points I have here, how many points I have here. What could the speaker have done better? That is the only focus.
Okay, thank you. One more question. Is it possible? Can I start with a quote? Instead of saying that, give a big round of applause for my target speaker. Instead of that, I can start with a quote related with the speech.
Venkatesan, I lost you in between. Can you please repeat the question?
Can I start with a quote? When I'm going to evaluate your speech, I'll start with a quote like this. I listen to the speech and my mind reflects the quote. Like that way, can I say that?
Venkatesh, he got disconnected.
Oh, sorry, Shankar.
Okay, sir, we are running out of time.
Thank you, thank you.
Can you hear me, Venkatesan?
Yes, Raghavan.
My secondary device got dropped, so I am back. Can you repeat the question, please? Sorry.
No, can I start with the quote in evaluation contest instead of saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. Every
related to the topic.
Correct. So every evaluation is a speech in itself. So any rule that applies to a normal prepared speech applies for an evaluation too. So yes, you can start with a quote as long as it is relevant to the speech.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Because of my technical glitches here, only one more question maybe, and then I'll have to hand it back. Any one question? Should we call Shankar up again?
I'm already in, Raghavan.
Yes, yeah. Shankar.
What did you do when you got a perfect speaker on speech? Did he give you a wrong or a false recommendation, or you just admitted he was the best?
Okay. Raghavan, what you'll do then if the speaker is too perfect and when you are finding for the recommendation, so what strategy will you use?
So, if a speaker is too good in your opinion, right, then you can't do anything at all. Because see, every speech is a journey in itself, and every evaluator is going through a journey. And it's like you're going out today, you're starting your bike and your tire is punctured. What can you do? Nothing. Try to fix the puncture. So on that day, on that occasion, when you are listening to a speaker, if it looks like the speaker is just absolutely perfect, don't try to do anything else. Write the exam for 70 marks and come out. Because if you start trying to fidget around, get nervous, and start trying to find faults when there just doesn't seem to be any, you're going to mess up the other 70 marks also. So sometimes it's just that you are in awe of the speaker and the speech seems just too good. Don't worry. Give your analysis. You explain to the speaker and to the audience why you thought the speech was a flawless one. Explain with proper reasons why it was so good. Throughout, your entire scripting was amazing. Your character placements were just too good. Your dialogues were amazing, perfect, fantastic. The conflict was perfect. So sometimes you go and watch movies, right? And we think, hey, there can't be a better movie made in the world. And then the director himself will be actually beating on his head saying, yo, what crappy product I put out on the world. So there are perspectives in people. All that you have to do if you find a speech to be too good or too bad is just come out and explain clearly why you are thinking what you're thinking. In that sense, at least the other 70 marks are saved.
Okay. So in that, in that such scenario, do we need to say that we don't find any kind of the recommendations for the speaker? Do we need to still say?
Obviously, you have to, because that is an important aspect in your judging ballot. So you must actually say, I did try and see if there was anything that you could have done better. But like I've explained just now, everything you did was perfect. So I don't think there are any other specific recommendations. You can do it subtly. You can bring about a style to it. Away, you can just tell that without telling that. All that is your art, is your skill of delivery. Okay. But it is important that you make a point, because otherwise, you know what will happen? The speaker will be like, okay, he's saying this is good, this is good, this is good. This is... Hey, where is the recommendation? He didn't say anything. Did I miss it? Didn't I listen to it? Did the speaker forget? Did the evaluator forget to give a recommend? So everybody will be sort of confused. They'll be waiting for you to say, and then you'll conclude. So it is in a way important for you to say, hey, I tried, but I think you are just too good for me today. Just make that point.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghavan. Sorry, DTM Raghavan. Any more questions? I think we are running out of time.
I think we're running out of time. I think we should close.
Thank you.
It also is dodgy. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Shankar. Thanks for the support. You were saying something?
Thank you so much, Raghavan. We are completely enjoyed and they added out the evaluation, the contest, which is going to happen 2 weeks ago. Maybe 2 weeks, next to 2 weeks. Okay, with this, I'll hand over the stage back to you, sir.
Yeah, my best wishes to all of you at Medley. Do well. In case you want any kind of support at any time, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I missed your opening. I missed your introduction of mine, but I am really thankful for you all tolerating all the glitches I had. Thank you so much. And back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, DTM Raghavan. I see the faces around me. They are still bright. And everyone was listening to you with rapt attention. Thank you so much for the session. So next, we will move on to the TT session. And the TT session is for 1 minute to 2. And you have a grace time of, you have 30 seconds grace time to complete it. It will be conducted by Toastmaster Venkatesh Prasanna. And when I asked him about the theme of the day, he remembers the time when he was with his younger sister, and they were listening to a lot of songs. And one particular movie that they liked listening songs to was Boys. So with that, I welcome Toastmaster Prasanna.
Thank you, TMOD. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the table topic master is to facilitate the table topics. The table topics helps the speakers to improve their impromptu speaking skills. I'll randomly call upon guests as well as Toastmasters and give them the topic on the spot. The speaker has to speak at least 1 minute and maximum up to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. For the benefit of guests, I'll repeat the timings. At 1 minute, the timer will raise green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, yellow card is raised. At 2 minutes, red card is raised. So now let's move on to our table topic session. For the first speaker, I would like to call upon from Physical Meeting, Toastmaster Taran. Music is medicine of mind. Music is medicine of mind. Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Music is medicine of mind, and music is medicine for workout as well. When we do hard exercise, we tend to listen positive music, kind of motivational music, where we get the atmosphere quite positive, quite energetic as well. So when we do exercises, most of the time we go for fast music and kind of powerful music, which changes the entire mindset. If you are into a negative mindset, it automatically gives the positive mindset because it helps to produce a hormone inside your body. That hormone gives the change inside the mindset, in the workout as well. So music plays a major role in shifting the mindset from negative to positive, and that gives the strength, that builds the strength. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. For the next speaker, I would like to call from one of our guests, Guest Wilson. Please come. Yes. Is talent genetic or acquired? Is talent genetic or acquired? 40.
Good evening. Talent, my opinion, it should say it's acquired or genetic. So talent is acquired. Acquired means, over a period of time, put in a lot of efforts and, we can acquire talent. Yes, there are a lot of things, especially in the form of art and singing, art and all those things. We can see that this is genetic. We say that, his father was a good singer, so he's also a good singer. That's what we actually normally see. But there are a lot of people actually over a period of time with their hard work, with their focused effort, actually they became expert in a particular field that we are seeing in over a period of time. So I would say that you can acquire, you can become talented by hard work and with focused effort you can do that. That's what my opinion. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I would like to call upon one of our guests again. Yes, Mickey Ball. What is your favorite music genre? What is your favorite music genre? 40.
My favorite music genre is melody. I used to listen a lot of melody songs when I feel so sad, and this helps me to overcome my fear, sadness, and help to motivate and change my mind from being sad to good. Change my mind and give me a refresh feeling. So I use my favorite genre of music is melody, and I love to listen to it.
Thank you. Mickey Ball. For next speaker, again it would be one of our guests. Yes, Srihari. Yes. How do you kill the time when you are bored? How do you kill the time when you are bored? Over to you.
Good evening, one and all. Present over here and who joined online. Yeah. The topic is about how do you kill the time. So, times have changed. If you go to the like the generation what we are in, it's more about how do you react, or how do you at the time how do you what do you say? Yeah, it varies it varies between the people. Some people who has enough time in their life, or let's say the people who have spent their hour into the late 50s who have retired from their life. For them the time won't be relevant. Maybe because the way of how they spend time is different compared to people who are just entered into the earning stage. So in a way, the people, it depends upon the mindset of the people who's actually spending time. I think I don't have anything to say. Thanks.
For the next topic, I would like to call upon one of our distinguished Toastmasters from Virtual Meeting, DTM Thomas. DTM
yes,
Thomas.
sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Is war needed for peace? Is war needed for peace? Over to you.
Thank you very much. It's a very simplistic answer to say yes and say, look at Russia and what the neighbors they're doing. Because there is a war, there will soon be peace. That's frivolous. But friends, I believe it's time humanity in 21st century realizes the futility, the tragedy, the damage, the destruction that war brings. Simple fact is, if you look at it, it's often selfishness. It's often pettiness that brings big wars. You know how First World War started, how the Second one started. You also know how domestic wars start. Friends, little openness of mind. Simple fact, if you can accept that I own this world as much as my neighbor does. I am no superior to my neighbor. If you have that basic equality, sense of equality, which is an intelligent thought, it is not a concession. It is pure mathematical, logical thought. If you have that, we wouldn't have wars. Of course, there are always Chanakyas who will gain from wars. It's up to us to show our intelligence and to keep those pests away. I'm saying this with reference to countries, the leadership that have to see history if it doesn't teach us. Why are we going to school or college? What's the use of experience if we are bound to repeat the idiocy of our fathers? Therefore, friends, I have no doubt that war is a waste, and war is not the way to win peace. The way to win peace is to stay in peace and not to lose it and then claim that give me a Nobel Prize because I brought peace back. Friends, it's all the openness of the mind. It's that feeling that we are all the same Jivasmas. I am no greater than you or the person who is racially looking different. It's purely a matter of genetics. It's purely a matter of geography. It's a matter of climate. Whether we are born in the sand or born in the beaches, we are all the same. We are all humans. That is all we need to do to avoid wars. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Next speaker, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Pravda. The one character trait you are proud of yourself. The one character trait you are proud of yourself. Over to you.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. A very good evening, one and all. Everybody likes some of our characters. So, in recent years, the one character that I feel I'm proud to be is a democratic leader. So, I'm a head of a department for the past 10 years. And generally, whenever I need to take any decision about any of the happenings or anything that has to be done by my department, I sit along with my colleagues. I take each of their ideas and then I put back my ideas and I try to implement that. And I find that helped me a lot in bringing out that program or an incident successfully. So I feel that this democratic leadership quality that I possess is one good trait that I have. And I feel that I have acquired that from my father, who is a dynamic leader, a leader for physically challenged people. Thank you. Over to the TT Master.
Next speaker, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sandhya. would you advise someone to attend the first Toastmaster meeting? How would you advise someone to attend the first Toastmaster meeting? Over to you.
Good evening, all. When we are born, all organs are present inside. Only when we reach the age of puberty, the reproductive organs of a female or the male unfold. Are they added into our body? No. They were already there inside, but we need to reach that stage of maturity and growth to expose and unfold the reproductive organs which we have. Similarly, there is a gift by God within each and every one. That potential has to be unfolded from within each one of us. This Toastmasters is a great platform for you to unfold the hidden potential that is sleeping inside you. So, dear friend, please attend Toastmasters with me. See the secret hidden gift that is present inside you so that you can unfold it beautifully, because God gifted us with that gift. How we live our life is a gift we give to God. So please, dear friend, next Saturday, 3 to 5, the Toastmasters is happening either in Desert Rose or IITM, which our VPV will inform us earlier, and I'll take you with you to the venue. Do attend without fail to unfold the sleeping potential inside. Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed, it was very convincing for guests, I hope. So, due to time constraints, I would wrap up the table topic session. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you. I'll hand over the stage to PM Modi. Thank you, PM.
That was a short and crisp TD session due to paucity of time. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Venkateshwar. Next, before I hand it over to the general evaluator, there are a couple of idioms in English about music. I'm sure most of you would have heard about it. Sounds like music to my ears. What does it mean? You're receiving an approbation or a pleasant surprise or something that you didn't expect earlier, like a raise at office, or your children are doing very well in sports, things like that. And the other one is blowing your own trumpet. Have you heard about this? Yeah. So that is a person talking about themselves, about what they have done. So from now, I will hand it over to the general evaluator, who will take on to the qualitative and the quantitative analysis of the session.
Thank you, PM. So now we are entering in one of the most critical as well as important element in Toastmasters, that is called the evaluation. So today we had two eminent speakers are given the delivered the speech. So the first speech was delivered by Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. For that speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Priyadarshini is the passionate Toastmaster, and currently she is working in an NGO. And about the theme, when she any songs, when listen about it, she is directly going to the dream, and the dream is so kind of the place. With this, I like to call upon Toastmaster Priyadarshini to evaluate Toastmaster Prasanna Vani's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
It is said, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Today, Dr. Prasanna aimed of reaching high, still high. How high? I should say, sky is the limit. Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. When our speaker opened her speech with a question, I started to guess, oh, I can say she belongs to this authoritative style of leadership. Look at that confidence she has. Then came out metaphors, words such as ship anchored in harbor when she was trying to tell us or relate to her research work. Soothing words such as test the water, rough weather, folder in computers. Hearing to such words, I just, come on. It is so, she's trying to strike this balance so right. It is so new to bring on a leadership style. She is definitely innovative style of leader. Then came a phase where there was no light in the end of that tunnel. I meant to say a conflict stage. How beautifully was that portrayed by her? Her hard work, which she called as a prosperity, was laughed and given a name like poverty. A very tough phase in Doctor's life, I can say. The beautiful part of this speech was there was a problem and she concluded with right solutions to tackle it by saying, yes, I failed in having a time set and also having an empathetic approach towards people somewhere. To this beautiful speech, here is one recommendation, just one recommendation. I heard you talked about affiliative, coaching, and democratic style. And I was a little lost when you brought in so many styles in such less time. I would say simplify your speech by saying, might be I lacked this pace setting style. I might have been open to this new project which came to me. Might be I lacked the communication method. If I understand the authoritative style of leadership, this might have helped me. All such simple things, because every leadership which we heard, we have more than 11 such leadership styles. If you said this is my style and I would like to bring in 2 to 3 such styles, it would have been easy for all of us, especially for those who wants to know what is this pace setting or assertive, many new styles of leadership. This is the only thing that I would like to say. Overall, you're a leader who already knows her way and you're here to show us the way. All the best, Steve.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini, for your constructive feedback. The next evaluation will be done by Toastmaster Saravanan by Toastmaster Nikhil Patel speech. Toastmaster Saravanan is a working professional in the Fort Matas about for 5 years, and he is the current president of Medley Toastmaster Club. I would request Toastmaster Saravanan to come and evaluate Toastmaster Nikhil Patel's speech.
Toastmaster Mickey Patel, I'm really glad to evaluate you for the second time because DTM Raghavan has already evaluated you. First of all, I really like the speech organization technique you used. You used a technique called as PGP, that is particular, general, and particular. Meaning, from a particular perspective, you started with Indian economy, which is standing in the 5th in the world, that is $3.5 trillion economy. And you drill down in a general phase where you mention about the crown, the reign of the queen, and then the British emperor, as well as the Indian economy. So you generalized, and then you went back to the particular again, in which you talked about India's $5 trillion economy, that is in future, which will be going ahead and then beating Germany in the world landscape. So PGP was done very well. So that was the first important point I would like to mention. The second and third are your transition and conclusion. If you see your transition, I like the way you tied the speech together, in which I like the flow as well. So you started with the title, The Crown, which is very much relevant and contemporary as of now. And you started with that and went ahead with Indian and British economy and then ended with Saurav Ganguly. Okay. So all these things are tied together. The next one I like this on the conclusion. When you talked about never forget the past, but remember the influence. So influence is a key word which was brought very nicely by you. Then I have 3 recommendations. So the first recommendation is on the purpose itself. If you see the manual, the purpose states that you have to give a well-organized and well-researched speech. Well-organized, definitely yes. Well-researched, I say there are a lot of data and statistics in your speech, but I would like to see the collection and analysis of the speech. That is where the research comes, because there is a lot of difference between searching and researching. And when you do the analysis, it will be more of researching. And that is where I would like you to concentrate on, so that we can get to understand what is the thought process behind that and what are the things you are researching as such. Because if you use a broad brush, that will be useful for some ways in the speech, because speech is an art. When you use a broad brush, it will be useful. But at some point of time, you have to focus and you have to use a pencil. That is where I would like to give a recommendation to you. Because there is a lot of statistics and data. See, for example, you talked about $3.5 trillion economy, 5.1 trillion economy, and then 400 million people, as well as 1498, 37% of exports. Lots of data, but I would like you to focus on certain things and then deliberate more on that, so that we get to understand what is the research you are coming up with and what are the research papers you have evaluated and how you have come up with these conclusions. So that is where I would like you to concentrate more on. Then when you have a lot of data, I would like you to pause so that we will be in a position to grasp. As well as if you have been interactive and asked questions, that will be much better. Overall, I would say this is a nice speech, but if you have taken these 3 points, that would be a better speech, and then all the best for you for all the other speeches as well. Over to the general evaluator.
So in the interest of the time, I would call upon Toastmaster Venkatpalli to read about the list of timer as well as a qualified speaker.
Hi again. It looks most of the speakers precluded from disqualification. And the speaker, Prasanna Vani, took 7 minutes 28 seconds. And Toastmaster Mikey taken 7 minutes 29 seconds. And coming to TT speakers, Dharan took 51 seconds. Wilson took 1 minute 8 seconds. Mickey Paul took 33 seconds. And Srihari took 1 minute 16 seconds. DTM Thomas 2 minutes 19 seconds. Dr. Pravada took 1 minute 11 seconds. And Dr. Sandhya took 1 minute 54 seconds. And coming to evaluators, Toastmaster Priya took 3 minutes 16 seconds. And Toastmaster Saravanan took 3 minutes 20 seconds. And the qualified speakers are Prasanna Vani, Nikki, Dharan. Sorry, I repeat, Prasanna Vani, Nikki, Wilson, and Srihari, DTM Thomas, Pravada, Sandhya, and Priya, and Saravanan. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat, for your detailed analysis. And then the next is the hard counter. For that, I would request Toastmaster Janita to share your report.
Yes. Thank you, Shankar. So I'll start off with my favorite speakers, Prasnavani and Mickey. So both of them gave like a very good passes like while they're talking. So that was really nice. I can mention it's a clear speech. And when it comes to the table topic session and TM Dharan, he mentioned like once and repeats the word music almost like a 4 to 5 times. And the guest Wilson, like he used 2 times and 1 time. And the guest Mickey, he used 3 times. And so like 1 time. So guest Srihari, he used like 2 times and 2 times. And DTM Thomas, like it's a clear speech from my end, and it's TM Pravda, also like a clear speech, and one place like she mentioned so excessively. So then the TM Sandhya, it's again a clear speech, and evaluators, it's again a clear speech from my end. Thank you so much, Shankar, for this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Janita. So moving on to the next attack role player, it is Toastmaster Hemant. Toastmaster Hemant, can you share your report, please?
Yeah, thanks, team. Actually, I see that TM Prasanwani has used the word of the day, and she has good writing skills also, and she used flicker of light shining through darkness as a word, like phrase, which was good, and I don't have much recommendation for them. TM Mike has used India economy at one point of time. It should be Indian economy at that point. Other thing is like his speech was good. After that, Venkat Pally also used the word of the day, and other than that, no one has used the word of the day because I have forgot it. So this is my report. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hemant. So here are my report for the GE. Number one, no, I'm going by start to end. One is that the President welcome all the guests, and the guests are properly welcomed as well as shared his introduction. And he also shared the rewards and recognition as well as the plan for the 8 weeks by Vice President Education. And also he also talked about the contest which is going to happen on 24th of September. TM Modi, well said, the theme of the day, and I would request appreciate the XCOM because ahead of the contestations, we are also gathered for education session by Raghav Sridhar. So these are the things which I felt it is really good. And the point for improvement, the number one is always it is a technical glitch which we have faced 5 to 7 minutes. And second thing is the agenda probably could have, usually we do have a tendency to share at least 1 day in advance, but this time it was not shared. On the other side, to be honest, I must appreciate with Toastmaster Prasanna because he also selected with each speaker. The topic was given to each speaker. I think one of the topic was given to Sandhya. I think probably Saravanan, you might take Sandhya into the XCOM board probably in the future. With this, I'll be signing off and over to you.
Thank you very much, TM Shankar, for the detailed GE role. With this, I would like to call whoever is doing the voting. Can we enable the voting? Already done? Okay. So, incidentally, The Sound of Music is also a musical from Hollywood, which was released in 1965. And it won 5 Oscars. It was a story of intrigue, suspense, romance, and it was a movie about a set of people a family moving from Nazi Germany to Austria. It was very well taken and it was received all over the world. At that point in time, it got about $265 million. So with that, I would like to hand over the proceedings to our President, Toastmaster Sound.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shankar. Please give a big round of applause for because just look at the time. 5:07. As per the agenda, it should be 5:10 when we are concluding the session, but we are right on time. When we started, we were 5 to 7 minutes late, but we were able to make up. And kudos to all the role players who have done a tremendous job to ensure that we stick to the time, stick to the agenda, and ensure that we are completing on time. So, what a session. Did you like your session today?
Yes.
Nice. 2 speeches, then good evaluations, as well as the evaluation education session. I don't know whether TTM Raghavan is there or not, but he did a brilliant job on that. And thank you, TTM Raghavan. I will send out a personal note to you on how well you have conducted this. And I take this opportunity to recognize the people who, members who have come early today. Toastmaster Ranga, Toastmaster Prasannavani, Toastmaster Dharan, as well as Toastmaster Venkat Pally, and to ensure that the setup is completed. And then Toastmaster, my Moinak as well. Well done. Because I'm very sure this room and Zoom integration is very difficult. And we are finding ways to ensure that all the glitches are taken care of. But I'm sure in another 2 more weeks, we will not have any technical glitch. Right? Why? Yeah, we will not have any Zoom sessions. Okay, so we'll be there in the physical meetings only. That is one of the reasons. Then I would also recognize the first-time role players like Toastmaster Hemant as well as Toastmaster Janita, who have done their roles respectively. And special mention to Toastmaster Venkatpalli, who was doubling up as a Sergeant at Arms as well as the timer as well. He was very proactive, and that was showing that cards were there, here, everywhere. Okay, good. And Toastmaster Darren also, thank you for taking up the voting job. That is good. And the voting link has been sent to the members as well as to the guests. So in case if you have not got that, please go to the guest group and then you can vote for the best role players as well. Now it's time to call the guests to see what their feedback is, as well as to understand what their thought process is based on today's meeting. Okay, I welcome the guests.
Good evening once again. So the session was a really good session today. I wanted to actually improve upon my speech today, but I felt that it was not improved so much. But still, I'm confident that maybe next time I'll be able to do it. And Madam, I missed your name. Okay, she gave a motivating speech to come. That was really, that actually changed the mood of the today. I would say like that. Okay, and that detailed evaluation session by Sridhar. I was actually initially I was a bit of a sleepy on that, but then later I became totally attentive to that, and it was actually a very very like a lot of learning from that particular message. So all over it was a great session today. So things are more positive compared to the first session which I had. So I'm really glad. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. And I would say, you have come here and talked for quite a while. Okay, definitely. You are a confident speaker. Next time, you please come and then participate in all the sessions. And definitely, we will have more such sessions as well. Fine. The next guest, please.
Yeah, I know asking for feedback would be a little early for me because it's the first day and I'm not in a position to say anything. It's only a new learning for me also. So I'm looking forward to coming here again and learn some of my things.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Actually, this is my first session. So before coming to here, I was so nervous and how I'm going to join in this club. But after attending this first meeting, I feel so comfortable and so regular. Everything is so structured and every speeches are on time. So this gives me a confidence. I want to do that by myself and I want to be a confident speaker. So that's why I tried. My alumni recommend me a Toastmaster club. So I want to get a feeling of how it works. So actually, really like a lot. So hope I will give a speech in future.
Are there any guests who are there in online meeting? Okay, I don't see anybody. Fine. So it's now time for us to declare the results, as well as who are the best performers for today are. The best tag role player goes to the person who was all around the place and showing us a timing card and everything. Toastmaster. The best role player goes to a person who has sound of music. The best TT speaker goes to a person who convinced the guests to join. Toastmasters Sandhya. Actually, it is also applicable for the members. I will take that as a video clipping and show them. The best speaker goes to Toastmaster Prasanna. Yes. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Priyadarshini. With this, we have come to the end of the session, and with the sound of this gavel, I declare meeting number 695 closed. Thank you for joining. We will meet next week. I'm closing the recording now.
Thank you.